Did you make up your own factoring rule?
I just factored x minus 2, x plus 2.
Yeah, but it's cubed.
Yeah, that's what I did. X minus 2, x plus 2, and x plus 2.
Doesn't work that way.
What?
Nice if it did, but it doesn't work that way. So you're supposed to have memorized something in Algebra 2. It made you memorize the difference per cube formula.
Oh.
But if you don't remember it, you're stuck with Miss Eppolito's observation, which is this. In order for this to work, the bottom has to be a factor of the top, does it not?
Yeah.
So if I want to figure out what the answer is, all I have to do is divide the bottom from the top. Do you remember how to divide a polynomial?
X squared plus.
No, it don't work that way. Do you remember we did this?
That's a not fun.
Or we did this.
Can we just learn the difference? We got this wrong on the final.
We did one of those two things. Either one will work. But since she knows it's going to be a factor, she knows this is going to work. That the answer will be the answer we're looking for. It'll be what's left over after we divide it out. Right?
Or,
That's it. Or remember Algebra 2 and do your difference of perfect cubes.
what is that one?
I know what that is. You don't, so you have to do it this way.
Rosie, no!
Rosie, teach us. How are we ever supposed to learn?
Because I know if I remind you how to do this, you'll go, oh yeah, I remember how to do this. If I right now tell you what the difference of perfect cubes is, you're not going to remember it in May.
Yes, I will. I promise I'll remember.
Yeah, no, you won't. Besides, you're going to need this skill later on in the year, so we might as well get on it.
Why does that?
So, what do we got? Which one do you want to go with?
Second.
Yes, ma'am. Read.
So for the line during the second one, but
You need a second one?
you've got the, so like you pull down the one.
Pull down the 1. Let's do it. Pull down the 1. I got 2.
And then
0 plus 2 is 2,
okay, so we
which
add
is
that.
4. 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8.
Whoa,
Gives me
whoa.
a 0.
Yeah, can we go a lot slower?
Pull down the 1. 1 times 2 is
2.
2. Put a 2 here.
Then you add
Add them up.
2, 4,
Add them up.
8, 0.
Oh,
So are those the two?
That means it's a factor, which she knew ahead of time, because if this is going to work at all, it has to be a factor. It also means that what is this that's left over? This is 1x squared plus 2x plus 4. That's what's left over. I can rewrite it like this if I really want to waste some time, but I can. Right?
Uh-huh.
And then these two cancel out.
Oh. And I can just plug in.
Now I plug in a 2.
That wasn't bad.
Or I could have done it with the long division way.
Now can we learn the perfect of squares?
Well, this is it right here, right? It's x minus 2, x squared plus the middle. This is x and 2, right? So it becomes the first one minus the second one times the first one squared plus 2 times. Well, if you have it memorized, it's not.
We don't get that format. What are the formulas we get for this test?
You get none.
So weird.
They give you nothing. Then you use quadratic equation.
What? What about like area of a triangle and stuff? They always give you those.
No. But they expect you to have it memorized.
You're kidding.
What?
Yeah, I know. Area of
What happened to
triangle.
give
1
us
half
on
base
every
times height.
week
Who
and
knew?
make us memorize it?
What?
I'm not sure.
By the way, that used to be on the old proficiency test, which you couldn't graduate high school if you didn't know.
We took those.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I took
No.
an ESC.
You took something called the end of course exams.
Hey,
What does that
pass,
do?
okay?
You don't have to pass them, do you?
Not
Fail them
anymore.
both.
We didn't have to.
They're considered too hard for you peeps.
Thank God.
But you did.
No, I didn't, bro. I
No.
literally got 50% on both of them.
See?
50%
I'm not-
passing, by the way,
Oh,
for math.
you need to get numbers for this.
Not much for English.
You
Really?
get a 2 on this.
You can never know if it can.
Anyway, got it? Now the last one really is hard.
Really?
Run into the next one because I want you to see it before I throw it to you on a test. So take a look at it and I will show you how to do it. Just take a moment, figure out why that would be awful, and then I'll show you how to do it.
No paper? Oh.
Pinto, you're looking suitably bored. Let's give you something to do here. What's the first thing I do? They're like 8 steps ahead of me. Can I plug in 3 first? Is that okay? Okay, 3. So I got 3 And 3 plus 1 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. I start to get that clenching, like, oh no, here it comes. I plug in a 3 at the bottom, I get 0. Now I know it's arrived, and I'm like crying and trying to throw up and stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and factor. Now at this point, Mr. Hummer, the talking is the important part. The doing is much easier. Okay? I need to factor it. Ms. Pinto, have you ever factored anything like this in your whole entire life? Never, ever. So we need to turn it into something I can factor. Now, in the past, when we had a square root plus something or minus something, we had a way of getting rid of that square root bar, which is what we want to get rid of so we can factor. Agreed? How do I get rid of a square root bar? When it's got a plus or minus after it? Multiply by its conjugate, and that's why we do it. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to limit as x approaches 3 of square root of x plus 1 minus 2 over x minus 3. Now, what is the conjugate? Ms. Pinto, what's the conjugate? Oh, okay. So I figured that was, you were sliding that by because I didn't pay attention. It's the same exact thing, but instead of a minus, I'm going to write a... Remember doing this last year?
I thought you said you multiply. Normally you multiply by the bottom. Wait.
Normally do it on the bottom, don't we? This time we're not doing it. This time we're doing it top because we're trying to get rid of the square root bar. The square root bar is our problem, isn't it? I'm going to get rid of it.
You're going to have one on the bottom now.
I know. That seems strange, doesn't it? That's why when the book gave you the hint simplify, and I wrote down the hint simplify, which was dumb of me. It's not simplification. We're messifying it. Yes, ma'am.
Do you square the top and the bottom?
No, because I changed the answer.
So what?
3/4 becomes 9/16. That's not the same as 3/4. You cannot square top and bottom.
Wait, you can simplify that.
It wouldn't simplify to 3/4. And also, in addition to that, if you square this, would you actually get something clean or would you get a mess? You'd actually have to FOIL top and bottom. It actually wouldn't do you any favors, even if you were allowed to do it, which you're not allowed to do. And this seems like a bad step, by the way. I'm with you. This is a trick. Put in your bag of tricks. If I see a square root bar, I get to the step where I got to factor it. I recognize I cannot factor something that's got a square root bar in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the worst possible thing to it. Okay? Agree that makes sense? To the degree I've explained it so far. So let's go ahead and hit it. Limit as x approaches 3. Now the good part about the conjugate is the middle two terms are going to be negative this times this, positive this times this. The middle terms fall out. I lose my square root bars, right? Ms. Pinto? Remember that? You're just going along with it. What? It's going to be, the inners or outers are going to be negative 2 times this and positive 2 times this. They're going to always cancel out, right? That's why we do this. Okay? So this times this is x plus 1. This times this is negative 4. All over x minus 3 times this awful mess. Which doesn't seem to simplify it at all.
Wait.
Wait. Oh, you had it. I think you had it. I think you have it. You don't have it. Let me go one more simplification step.
Do we have to write limit every time?
You're supposed to. Until we've taken it. Now, are there any common factors? Yeah. The moment I kill the common factor, what do I immediately do?
It doesn't matter if it's on top or bottom.
What?
Bring it back to the top.
It's gonna have all of that.
I plug it in. Yeah. I don't, just plug it in. Call it a day. The moment you get rid of that common factor, do not make your life any harder than it has to be. You take the 3, you plug it right in here. And if you plug it in, you're going to get 1, because there's still 1 up there. Right, when you cancel out a common factor, there's still 1 up there. Over, plug a 3 in here, I've got 2 plus 2 is 4.
Oh.
And there's the answer. Okay? It's a weird trick. So when you have a square root bar and you get to the step where you must factor, you must brace yourself, get rid of the square root bar. Odds are it's going to be by multiplying by its conjugate. Okay? The other place where people sometimes run into trouble on this is when they try to distribute the bottom. Leave it alone for a while. Let it cancel out. before you, if you distribute it, you might be, I still don't have anything I can deal with. That's not going to help you, right? That makes sense? Read with me. Hummer with me.
Yeah, and explain to him.
Excellent. Problem to the back. Go ahead. Still got another 10 minutes. At the rate you guys do problems, this is being classwork. Ready to move on to the next thing.
Are these all zeros?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to plug in the value. You're going to see if it's 0, 0. If it is 0, 0, then you're going to factor.